Welcome to another exciting and informative episode of the Entrepreneurs Podcast, a place to hear real entrepreneurs and business owners bear it all. I am your host, life strategist and retirement planner, Randolph Love III. And if you have not heard, the third's the word, and we got a word from a fresh new entrepreneur, not too new, but new to you, entrepreneur on the scene. Please let everybody know who you are, what do you do, and how long you've been doing it.
Sure. My name is Davisson. I'm the founder and developer of Claim Titan. If you don't know what Claim Titan is, it's a claims management platform, basically a CRM for claims.
How long you been doing that?
Oh man, I've been doing this for about 10 years solid. I used to be a PA way back when, and that led me down the path of trying to solve my own problems, building software just to meet my needs. And then one thing led to another, and now I'm building the software full time.
Oh man, one thing led to another. Now I'm building software.
Yes.
So that's you and every other scientist in the world. All right. So is there nothing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
A lot. I mean, coming to events like this, just getting the claims education alone is super impactful. I mean, when I was starting to build the software, it was coming from a place of, I have a problem as an adjuster and I want to solve it. Specifically my own needs. There's solutions and stuff out there, but like we had a specific problem and how do we solve that? And now coming to certain events and stuff and just getting educated on, there's so many experts and ways you can get into deep dives of subjects. There's so much to know. For me, I guess the biggest things was just like understanding how your piece plays into the role of the claims process as the big picture, right? Like we all have a role to play. And when you understand your role, we can fit better into that puzzle and we get everybody better results, right? So it kind of led down to that path of like, how do I find myself in this role? How do we position ourselves in a way that we're solving our own problems? But then that kind of opens up the discussion of like, well, maybe other people have this problem too, And speaking of fitting things in the right puzzle, putting together CRM, customer relationship manager, is that what CRM means to you? Typically, yeah. For me, I would say like CMS, claims management system.
Okay.
They're all the same, right? It's project management focused on claims.
Okay. That's not as simple as it seems, right? What are some of the roadblocks that you ran into when you first started, but back in 2018?
Yeah, that's when I started getting really heavy into it.
And how did you overcome it?
It's definitely like industry domain knowledge in the claims process, right? Like there's a lot of software out there, there's project management software, but how do we get something that's gonna solve our problem as a claims professional? And again, you'll get a lot of different tools out there that get you 80, 90% of the way there, and then all of a sudden you start adapting the way your business runs to use the tool, right? It should be the other way around. Like, do you go for the hammer when you have a screw? You go for the right tool for the job. And that should kind of be the same for your software. And a lot of people kind of fall into that trap of like, I'm using this software, and they get invested into it, and then there is a certain like level of investment that you have there, so you're still like, I need to keep this going, but you start having struggles within your business, and you start adapting to fit the software when you should probably take a step back and think about how do we adapt our business rather than this, try to fit the software into that.
Okay, so are you saying that Claim Titan is malleable, meaning that it's flexible?
That's the idea. For me, it was configuration. We can be in the same city, the same state, and do completely different things in the same industry. So how do we have software that fits both of our needs? It comes down to configuration and being able to customize that. So that leads us down this whole rabbit hole of, well, I need to customize it for mine, but then that doesn't work for this other guy. So how do we build that into software, right? Because if you make a change for one customer and they're all using the same software, all of a sudden other customers are maybe not so happy. So now we get down to this battle of, okay, we need to make it configurable, meaning the user can do this. They can go somewhere in the software, there's some page, and they can change it. They're not having to get on a phone call with somebody. They're not having to ask us to change it. It's in their hands. Okay,
so there are a lot of CRMs or CMSs, right? Is that your key differentiator, or is there another key differentiator?
That was the initial. It was like, first of all, it needs to be configurable and customizable to my needs. Otherwise, I'm going to end up using other softwares, or I'm going to go hire somebody to build custom software just for me, right? So how do we fit into that piece where we have this happy medium where people get different use cases of it, but we're not like pushing them into a corner, right? So that kind of led to the battle of how do we get things configurable, and that's just one piece of it, right? The other piece is that, hey, we're now approaching this in a new time. We can take advantage of modern software and tech, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do that. Sometimes it comes down to How do we lay out our software? How do we design it? How do we put the pieces together? There's lots of little benefits and affordances, and that's just a lot of nerd talk for how do we give the customers value? How do we bring them tools that's going to actually impact their job, you know, in a way that we're not going to be spending tons of time to do something that's not providing a lot of value.
And I'm pretty sure dealing with a lot of public adjusters. So, all right, well, let me ask you, are the key, is it public adjusters the only ones using this software, or is it contractors, or is it attorneys? Who's using this?
Yeah, that's a good question because that comes up a lot. I did initially build it for public adjusters because that's what my role was, but it's basically insurance claim software. So I have a lot of people that use it from restoration background, some of the storm contractor guys, you know, within reason, damage mitigators, attorneys, legal parties, supplementers, estimators, right? If you have your hands in the insurance claim process, you're typically trying to manage that claim on some level. You're trying to keep track of it, know where you left off on, what the work you did, and have all your stuff available. And that's where people find value in that.
Okay, got it. So, all right. Let's say I'm a public adjuster. I'm looking for a new CMS, but I'm concerned about privacy. How do you calm those fears on privacy?
Sure, that's a good question too. The first thing I tell people is I'm honest about it. If you have something that's working, this is a big switch, right? Make sure that it's the right switch for you, right? This is not just like, hey, it's a small tool that I'm picking up. It's a signing service. It's a small like measurement tool. It's gonna run your business. It's a core backbone. And so that's not a light decision to make. And if you have something that's working, I'm not the guy that's gonna be like, hey, you need to switch. There are benefits to switching, don't get me wrong. But everybody has a business that they're trying to fulfill their needs on. So for me, it was like, how do I get that set up in a way that's easy for people to make that decision when it's right for them and providing that value to them.
Okay, so.
And the main customer base is originally public adjusters, you know, but we do have a lot of people now that are kind of getting different, you know, access to it.
So whether I'm a public adjuster or a contractor or a mitigation company, what is happening to me right now with my CMS that should make me consider switching?
Well, I'd first consider what CMS or platform are you using. A lot of us are using generalized project management tools, right? What does that mean? It's managing a project. A project can mean many things. It could be a claim. It could be a contracting project. It could be some sort of new lead or prospect that we have, right? There's a lot of different ways that project management gets focused. And when we find ourselves using project management software, we find ourselves in those limitations. So the main thing is like, how do we go beyond project management? How do we talk about claims and things that are specific to us? And then again, you get down that path of, okay, well, I have this software, I have these problems it's not solving. Can we customize it? Can we meet it? When really the discussion should be, are we using the right software? You know, should we probably step back and figure out, is this the right tool for the job?
Okay, so sounds like what you're saying, the first step to thinking, should I even consider Claim Titan is, am I using a software that isn't specifically built for handling claims?
Right, that's a good introduction point. First of all, if you're not using a claim software and you're managing a lot of claims, that's a good starting point to consider, right? Then if you are using claim software, is it meeting all of your needs? Are you doing extra work to use the software? There is a certain level of extra work with the tools we take on, right? But is it crossing that threshold of now I'm doing extra work because of the software in a way where it's detracting from my business and the services that I'm providing? And that's kind of that, you get to that point where it's like, we're using software that's fitting our bill, it's doing good, but we're starting to spend a lot of time in these areas trying to upkeep the software just so that way we can stay on top of things, where if it did, you know, just 3 things differently, it would save us hours a week.
Where would you say you're coming in at the market? Are you coming in at the bottom, the middle, or the top price-wise?
Price-wise, I'd say I'm about the middle, right? You're gonna have those enterprise customers that are out there, they have these big things. Their problem is that they have a ton of features, and how do you package that into a value? Well, you either charge an obscenely high price to justify those, or you have a bunch of add-ons, which then get you down this path of we have a very expensive software once we tack on all the add-ons. And then you have entry-level software, which we all start at, right? We all have to start somewhere. And that's where I initially had. I just had some basic claims tracking, and it's grown beyond that point now where it's like, Now it has all the bells and whistles that I would expect from a basic claims management software. If you're going to come to me and say, I need claims management software, everybody in their head has a list of certain things that it should have. I'm comfortable saying that it has those number of things now, and how do we look at the extra things that give it that like wow factor or take that extra work off our plate, you know? Especially in the age of AI, you know, how do we leverage those things in intelligent ways and privacy-focused ways that we can make sure that people are getting use out of them, but still respecting us as professionals?
There's typically a trade-off, right?
Yeah, there is a trade-off.
All right, so because your reputation preceded you. The reason why we're having this conversation, because you know you came up, because I didn't know who you were. I just knew of the name of your company, right?
Cool. All right.
And you came up and you know we introduced ourselves and we had a good conversation. I said, hey man, I need to get you on camera, right? And so you obviously have built the brand, all right? So when people log into Claim Titan, because you're not the most expensive, you're not the least expensive. Right. You're right there in the middle.
Yep.
Do I join Claim Titan if I need my hand held? And what's the definition of hand holding to you?
There's different levels of hand holding. I'll tell you, the hand holding comes from the software and the service, right? Like we can help as a business, like, hey, you want to get on a phone call and we need to help you? We can hold your hand that way. Does the software hold your hand? That was kind of my intention. You know, when I was in the PA field, I was working with some guys a little older than me, and I had to make it real simple for them, right? What fields do they need to fill out? Nothing more than that, and a big clear button that says we're done. Nothing more, nothing to detract from that. And that's kind of the hand holding I started to approach. How do I come at my software from a true place of understanding the claims process and figure out what do I need to solve? How do I make this frictionless for the person filling it out, right? I don't want to have 100 forms to fill out, right? I just started a client. I want to fill out the 5 things I have right now and move on and go to the next thing. And that is how a software can truly hold your hand. If it's a true software that comes from a place of understanding the domain, understanding what the problem actually is, so that way it can solve it in a problem space that's like, hey, I'm coming from a place of these are the things you're looking for when you're looking for them. I can make it more convenient for you because I'm expecting what you're looking for, versus you hunting around my interface, looking for pages, trying to make this work. Again, adapting how you're working to use the software. The software should be an extension of you.
Got it. And it seems like based off of your previous experience and based off the people that you work with, because I'm a firm believer that simple is valuable. Some people believe that if something looks more complicated, you should pay more money from it. No, more money for it. No. When you start getting up into higher levels of business, the simpler, the better. And I believe it was a quote that Elon Musk said. He said, if you're not subtracting 10% from your process periodically, then you're not doing it right.
I love that.
So it sounds like what you're saying is very intuitive based off your previous experience and based off of not only you being a public adjuster, but working with older people who they needed it more and more simple, just so they know what to push. Does that mean that Claim Titan does not utilize AI because it's so intuitive, or do you have AI components?
We do have AI components, but I like to take a different approach than most people in the industry. I'm a big privacy advocate in the sense that it's your data, you should be in control of it. None of us really know what's going on with this AI stuff. If anybody says they're an expert, they don't really know what they're talking about because we're all trying to figure it out, right? So how does that fit into this space where it's affecting our business on multiple fronts? And so for me, I don't want to be forced on somebody. The Claim Titan's been around before AI, right? It has a lot of use cases and it will remain that way. But there is a value to AI. Don't get me wrong, I see the value and it does have a place in the right areas. A good place for me would be thinking about if I take on a CRM or some sort of software like this, there is a certain level of work that you have to do to manage that software. And it may become slightly tedious to have to go and enter in these items all the time. AI is kind of good at sometimes doing that little bit of busy work, right? I'm not giving up my brain power or my licensed professionalism to it, but it's helping fill in the gaps of like, take this email, translate it to scheduled items and tasks for me, right? And I can verify that and authenticate it. And an approach I've taken with AI is, first of all, it's all opt-in. Nothing's forced on you. You opt into it. There's clear disclaimers on where the data is going. I'm not locking you behind a certain provider. You can kind of choose. AI has its flavors and its preferences. People like to choose their own styles. And then beyond that, like it has different use cases within your own like firm. Are we heavily on like trying to chat with it, interact with it? Is it something that's just helping, extract data out of our documents so we don't have to sit here and sort through a 100-page file, tediously? We're still making licensed professional decisions. It's just helping kind of like alleviate those busy work tasks for us. And so that's a big thing for me, especially when we're coming to the talk of like, all right, is it going to replace public adjusters stuff? No, it's not going to replace us. It's an extension of you and your skills and your expertise. And the moment you start giving up those skills and those expertise that you have, that's when you're taking it too far. You're no longer in control. Who's licensed, you or the AI?
Man, that's powerful. And I know a lot of people who run this software they don't typically say what their subscriber count, and I don't expect you to say it as well, but you have a lot of people using your tool.
We do. We have a large range. It ranges from mom and pop shops to companies that have 50, 60 people plus more. There's some people that are so compartmentalized that there's a whole team that just does like scheduling and intake, whereas one guy does it all.
And that's what I like about what you do, because there are some people who are hermits. They don't come to conferences like this, but they need to benefit from people. And to me, it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that let's say it's somebody that they stay in their own shell, they work their claims, they utilize Claim Titan, and they might log in one day and see a new feature that they didn't realize that they needed. But the only reason that the feature is there is because of all of the use cases of all of the users. Is that a thing?
That does happen. And it's the people that I take feedback very personally. You're not going to tell me something that's going to hurt my personal feelings. It's software, it's a business, I want to make it better. And the people that reach out to me and tell me those things, those are the improvements that I make. So the people that do use it and get benefit off it, if they have problems, if they voice those opinions to me, it only makes the software that much better.
Absolutely, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you in there, got your booth set up here at the 2026 Iowa Claims Conference here in Des Moines, Iowa. Before you go, is there not a question that I did not ask you that I should have?
I think we covered a good thing. I just want people to know that there's options out there. The biggest thing for me is that I care about the industry. I'm here to provide tools that, I used to be a public adjuster. I like the results that I got from my policyholders. And even though I don't do it directly, I think by extension, I still get those results for my clients. And it's nice to know that the industry is, benefit from that.
Absolutely. One more time, let everybody know who you are, what do you do, and how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. I'm Eric Davisson from Claim Titan. If you want to find out more, check us out at claimtitan.com, or you can always hop on the phone with me.
And this has been another exciting and informative episode of the Entrepreneurs Podcast, a place to hear real entrepreneurs and business owners bear it all. Until next time, don't play with it, stay with it until you make pay with it. This is the Entrepreneurs Podcast, signing off.